everyone. I'm your host, Heather Dawson, and welcome to the June episode of Healthy RC Living. Well, David Wiley takes us to the library's Asian and Pacific Islander Cultural Arts Night, featuring entertainment, crafts, and a food drive for the RC Family Resource Center.
Town Library at Victoria Gardens recently hosted a cultural arts night celebrating the Asian and Pacific Islander cultures. The family-friendly event featured activities, art, books, and entertainment, highlighting the beautiful cultures found throughout Asia and the Pacific Islands, including these dancers from the Korean Classical Dance Company. And many in attendance were captivated by the sounds of traditional Chinese music.
The audience really pay attention, and I think they enjoy the music. Yeah, it's really nice.
Audiences were also treated to a live big brush demonstration in a very serene setting.
Absolutely amazing. It was beautiful. Just watching it, yeah.
And that was the reaction of many attending the Cultural Arts Night. Events like this one go a long way in educating and informing our community about the variety of cultures that make up our region.
I think that it really exposes more of the different types of cultures that's within our community. One of the most important parts of this, I think, is the fact that there's so much different art, there's so much different, so many beautiful things that we can share. I mean, being Asian Pacific Islander myself, I think that it's a good way to expose, the beauty of our cultures, the beauty of many different types of Pacific Asian cultures into this country.
And to help those in attendance perhaps better understand their own cultural background, the library hosted a genealogy class.
I think that when people understand who they are and how complicated family trees are and how we're all so interrelated to one another, it just brings community together, and there is unity in figuring out a little bit more of what you're all about. It really gets your feet firmly grounded under you.
The city of Rancho Cucamonga and our local libraries host similar cultural and educational events throughout the year. Be sure to take advantage of them. To learn more about upcoming events, go to cityofrc.us. I'm David Wiley for Healthy RC Living.
Healthy RC youth leaders attended the Directing Change Film Screening Award event at the Riverside Fox Performing Theater, watching the film they made on the big screen.
Mental health is something that affects all of us, either directly or indirectly. With that in mind, the Healthy RC youth leaders have produced a new public service announcement focusing on mental health. It premiered recently at the Directing Change Student Film Competition in Riverside. The Directing Change competition is designed to get students thinking about critical issues and finding ways to make a positive impact. The idea behind the video was to destigmatize mental health issues like depression, anxiety, and even thoughts of suicide.
Our Healthy RC youth leaders from the city of Rancho Cucamonga were able to share and describe and storytell and use techniques using video to be able to share a story about how you can find help when you most need it.
The 60-second PSA was written and produced by the Healthy RC youth leaders and shot at a local high school. It focuses on a young high school student who's going through a tough breakup.
The video that we did that will be shown today was based around depression and anxiety, where a guy gets cheated on and he goes through depression, but his friend helps out and gets help for him.
The video is part of the Healthy RC Initiative's effort to reduce the stigma of mental health issues, and part of an effort to let young people and others in the community know that there are places they can get help.
I think it's really important to talk about mental health because so many people think that it's like a big thing for them and that nobody else understands them when they really, when there's so many other people around them that are going through the same things, when they take a step forward and ask for help, so many other people will be impacted by that they'll all rally together and they'll help each other.
And for the Healthy RC youth leaders, mental health issues are something they see firsthand among their peers.
It affects a lot of teenagers. Usually they have anxiety, like test anxiety, and I know some teenagers do deal with depression, but if they reach out and get help, it will improve their mental health.
It's good to share this video so people that have depression, they know how to ask for help, because sometimes they are in a room and they don't know what to do.
And the Healthy RC youth leaders say the experience of making the video was rewarding, and they hope it can help others.
I think my favorite part about shooting the video was coming together for this excellent cause and knowing that we're going to make a difference with this.
Indeed, the video shares a powerful message about mental health, friendship, and the pathway to healing. Here is the Healthy RC Youth Leaders PSA in its entirety.
I thought she was the one for me. We spent every day together until my best friend stole my girlfriend. My whole life fell apart. Why me? Where did I go wrong? Why him over me? As time passed, my grades suffered. I stopped going to sports. I stopped talking to friends. I felt like I was drowning. I was hopeless. I was alone. After what I had been through, I realized I am not alone. My friend reached out and experienced the same thing.
Hey Luke, you okay?
After calling the hotline, my friend recommended I felt like I could breathe again. 1-800-273-8255.
It was a night on the red carpet for individuals with special needs, and we sent Jonathan Camus to the star-studded event.
It was a night on the red carpet for individuals with special needs. A prom was held at the Goldie S. Lewis Community Center in Rancho Cucamonga. The Incredibles program has successfully staged this event for over 10 years. Guests included students who may have not attended their school prom and others who have already graduated from the program.
It's just a great event for families to come together. We have a live band so they can come and celebrate. There's chandeliers, there's lots of shiny things, and everyone dressed to the nines. So it's a Hollywood night here at Central Park.
We get a lot of support. The city of Rancho Cucamonga has been awesome, and every year it gets better. It's just more people are coming out, so it means a lot not only to our kids that are currently in school, but to our kids that have graduated several years ago. It's a lot of fun for everybody.
This event also meant a lot to the parents. It was an opportunity for them to watch their children let loose in a safe environment.
I think it's great because I enjoyed seeing him happy, dancing, having fun with his friends.
This is a night when they can all dress up, they can wear their gowns, and my son has on his suit and his bow tie. They all felt like they were truly a VIP, that the room was decorated just for them, and that they were walking the red carpet just like a Hollywood star. So it's a sense of just being treated special and feeling special.
Oh, it means the world to me to be, just a regular child. He enjoys it, so it's really wonderful what they do, and they include them so they, feel like, they're special.
Reporting for Healthy RC Living, I'm Jonathan Camus.
Time now for our next mental health symposium, where community conversations are enhancing mental health services. Here's more.
So I'm here to talk a little bit about suicide prevention.
Healthy RC recently hosted a community conversation on suicide prevention as part of their focus on mental health issues in our community. The event at Central Park featured a frank and open discussion about suicide and depression, with a number of testimonials from those who have been touched by suicide.
most people who have either a mental health disorder or are struggling with suicide think that they're alone. They think that they're the only ones who are dealing with it. And once they share, once they start to discuss, then people who are struggling say, oh, I'm not the only one, and this person is doing so well, or this person survived an attempt, and there is life afterwards. So it's important to hear those survivor stories to let people know that there is hope and that there is life beyond a suicide attempt.
The event is part of a series of community conversations that is unique to Rancho Cucamonga.
There's not many organizations, there's not many cities that are doing this type of work and really digging deeper into what are some of the main issues around mental health.
The idea behind events like this is to bring up subjects that are not talked about much, like mental health, out into the open in an effort to reduce the shame and stigma that often goes with it.
If we keep it stigmatized and to ourselves, people are not going to get the help that they need. The community needs to see that those are those out there that need help so that we can help them.
The numbers regarding mental health issues are staggering. Studies show that 20% of Americans experience mental health issues in any given year. So there's a good chance you know someone who may be secretly struggling with mental illness.
I'll walk into a room and people say, I don't know anybody with a mental health disorder. And I say, no, if you're in a room with 100 people, there's at least 20 to 25 people in that room with a mental health disorder. And just because people don't talk about it doesn't mean that they're not struggling with it.
That's why it's important to talk with someone if you or someone you know is feeling depressed or suicidal.
If you're going through a problem, then more people out there are going through that problem, and you're not alone. It's as simply as being vulnerable and knowing, accepting it and being okay with it and moving forward and asking for help.
With that in mind, it's important to know some of the warning signs for suicide. Those signs may include threats or comments about killing themselves, increased alcohol and drug use, aggressive behavior, social withdrawal from friends and family, dramatic mood swings, talking, writing, or thinking about death, impulsive or reckless behavior.
One of my favorite sayings is that without mental health, there is no health. So our brain is a very important organ and it's part of our body. So if we want health, then we have to start with our brains. We have to start with mental health.
And that's why events like this community conversation are so important, to let those who may be struggling with mental health issues, including depression or suicidal thoughts, know that they are not alone and that there are places to get help.
I care about helping and connecting with others in the community that are considering suicide, and basically what I've learned is we have to ask, and we have to ask questions and connect and let them know that we care about them and make sure that they get help.
Some of the places locally people can get help include 211. The United Way's 24-hour 211 call center can connect residents with a variety of services that can help someone who is struggling.
So if you have a mental health issue, you can call into 211. And if you're feeling suicidal, you feel like harming yourself, killing yourself, if you're feeling depressed, severe anxiety, call 211 and they will assess your situation.
Also, there's the National Alliance on Mental Illness, offering a number of local services and support groups. You can find out more at their website. And the National Suicide Prevention Hotline is 1-800-273-8255. Healthy RC and the City of Rancho Cucamonga plan more community conversation events in the future. You can keep up to date at healthyrc.com. From Central Park, I'm David Wiley for Healthy RC Living.
Mental health is an issue that all too often gets swept under the rug. So many want to avoid the stigma that comes along with this sensitive issue, especially in underserved and minority communities. But the City of Rancho Cucamonga is now addressing this issue with a new educational initiative that is emerging in the community.
There's a lot of different diagnoses, generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder. There's just a ton, unfortunately. There's a ton.
This special event was recently held at Los Amigos Elementary, where parents and local residents were invited to be part of a presentation that confronted this issue and gave participants a vast array of practical resources.
So mental health is also a stigmatized issue. It's something that most people don't really want to talk about, especially in the Latino community here in Los Amigos area of Rancho. And so it's a stigma, and it really cuts across all cultures, that it doesn't want to be spoken of, because it's always like, behind closed doors. No one wants to really, it's shameful. They don't want to be that person to say that they're feeling depressed or have anxiety. And so by really inviting the community and saying, hey, like, these are the symptoms, these are things that everyone can goes through them. And so we really targeted our message and the flyer to really invite them to just start the conversation. And it's really meant to broaden their view and learn more about the resources that are located here in the city.
Licensed family therapist Nicole Serrano was on hand to provide her professional perspective on how to find the resources to confront many of these difficult topics.
A lot of this information in and of itself is really difficult to talk about. People get, actually somebody had brought up how vulnerable it is to talk about these symptoms that we're discussing, and a lot of times this information isn't available in Spanish. So information about where do we get services, what is therapy, what is a psychiatrist, those words are really difficult. People tend to think they're psycho, that has that psychology type of word in it, so explaining that it's just a provider there to try to help them figure out what can help, what treatment would help them with their symptoms and things like that, what to do in a crisis, where to go for help, things like that.
Judging by reaction of those in attendance, the information provided was more than helpful.
She was very thorough. The presentation was in Spanish and English. We got a lot of information about where we could go. Also, there was a lot of explanation to reduce the stigma of mental illness, because when you hear that word, it's scary. And nobody wants to admit that maybe they might have something going on. And we all have something going on every once in a while, so it shouldn't be scary.
She brought a lot of flyers and information all around mental health, whether it's around suicide prevention, depression, behavioral health issues. She says that using the information she got, she feels empowered to share that with others, especially because she didn't know where to go before.
¿A dónde pueden acudir y qué es lo que deben de hacer?
To find out more resources and other upcoming events related to the topic of mental health, go online to healthyrc.com. From Los Amigos Elementary, this is J.R. Ibarra for Healthy RC.
On your mark, get set, go! There's no doubt the Cucamonga Challenge has become a late spring tradition here in Rancho Cucamonga, and this year's event was better than ever. The 13th annual Cucamonga Challenge was a family-friendly fitness event that took place in mid-May along the Pacific Electric Trail.
Our event is really geared towards families. We see a lot of repeat people. Sometimes they bring their kids. You're welcome to walk or run with your dog, so we've got that kind of flexibility. And because we have so many people returning, they always look forward to supporting this event and being a part of it.
The event starts and finishes along the PE Trail at Central Park and combines biking and running events to promote fitness in our community.
So with the Cucamonga Challenge, it's basically a 5K race, a 10K race, and then it's a cycling event with 25 miles or 50 miles. The 25 and 50 mile bike rides are not timed, so it's not a race. But what we do is we wanted to be able to give long distance riders something to go for.
And go for it they did. With separate starting times, over 400 bicyclists, runners, and walkers took to the PE Trail to take on the sometimes challenging courses.
I really liked it because they had like a good amount of uphill and downhill, and I like how it's like the surface, so it made it easier to run without any problems like slipping or anything.
It's great. I mean, it brings everybody together, co-workers, friends.
The whole company. It's good. It's a good thing. Feel good. I love today's event. It's one of my first races/events that I've done. I was able to come in with some great riders. We pushed each other all the way to the end, and we finished together strong.
This year, participants were offered a special discount for next year's event, and 50 people have already signed up for the 2019 Cucamonga Challenge. While the event always attracts a number of repeat participants, it also gives the opportunity for others to discover the PE Trail for the very first time. In addition to promoting fitness and the PE Trail, the Cucamonga Challenge also acts as a fundraiser.
We raise funds for the Pacific Electric Trail for the amenities such as shade structures. We want to rebuild the Etiwanda Depot as a new trailhead, so we do things for the trail to enhance the user experience on it.
And while raising money for the PE Trail and promoting fitness, the Cucamonga Challenge also goes a long way in promoting a lifestyle that's special to Rancho.
It's a wonderful community to be part of, and we grew up with it, so we're extremely proud of Rancho.
You know, Rancho Cucamonga is a city of 180,000 people, and to have community events like this where you really have a high level of participation is really special, because a lot of cities that get that big, you don't really get that kind of community close-knit feel. And that's really one thing that's really special about Rancho Cucamonga, and this is one of those kind of events that brings people out and brings people together.
And while the next Cucamonga Challenge is a year away, you can experience that sense of community that makes Rancho Cucamonga a special place to live by visiting the Pacific Electric Trail. Whether for a short walk, a family bike ride, or an intense workout, you'll find a warm, inviting atmosphere that makes our community unique. From the Pacific Electric Trail, I'm David Wiley for Healthy RC Living. A large, enthusiastic group of kids were on hand at Central Park recently for the 17th annual Ron Ives Memorial Bicycle Safety Rodeo. The popular event attracts hundreds of children and their parents every year, with many families planning ahead to attend.
My son and my father-in-law here showed up last year on accident, and we've realized it was a yearly event, and it's been on the calendar for the last couple months.
The Bicycle Safety Rodeo is put on by the Rancho Cucamonga Police Department in memory of late Deputy Ron Ives, who founded the event in 2001.
The primary focus of this is bicycle safety. We teach them about wearing helmets. That's part of why we give out over 400 free helmets to the kids. We teach them about the rules of the road, and we have an obstacle course set up that provides what a red light is, green light is, and the proper way to maneuver in and out of sidewalks and traffic safety.
While safety is the primary focus, the event organizers make a real effort for law enforcement officers to bond with the children.
To see the officers and stuff in a positive light, I think that's probably the best thing I could see for my kids.
In this climate of law enforcement, is beyond positive to allow the children to make positive contacts with us, enjoy it, and overall get a positive experience while learning something at the same time.
With that in mind, the day kicked off with the kids following motorcycle officers in a bike parade. Obviously, learning to ride a bicycle safely was a big part of the rodeo, so the event featured an extensive bicycle obstacle course that gave kids a chance to practice the safety riding tips they'd learned.
We think it's really special. We come out mostly for the kids so they can enjoy a day out here and learning about, the bicycle safety, and they like riding the obstacle course and getting a new helmet.
Yes, there were lots of fun giveaways, including bike helmets and a number of bicycles. Plus, there were numerous other activities available, making it a great day for the whole family.
I think it was a good Saturday experience with the family. They got to do the
rock climbing, and glad everybody kind of sponsored the city with, the food and the bikes and the event that's going on today. So I thought that was good.
Representatives from Healthy RC were also on hand talking to people about their Safe Routes to School program that makes it safer for kids to walk and ride bikes to school.
Biking to school is a really important part of our program, and we want to just make sure to give out as much information as possible to the kids and parents today.
And while bicycle safety is something that's important to all of us year-round, the Ron Ives Memorial Bike Rodeo is held in May for a very particular reason.
May is National Highway Traffic Safety Administration's Bicycle Safety Month, so our focus is try to have this event in May. It was started, like I said, 2001 by Deputy Ron Ives. He tragically passed in an on-duty traffic collision in 2004, and this is dedicated in his honor every single year, and we continue to uphold his legacy by doing this every year in May.
So mark your calendars, and we'll see you at next year's Bike Rodeo. From Central Park, I'm David Wiley for Healthy RC Living.
The heart is a blue.
Hi, I'm Deputy Bailey with the Rancho Cucamonga Police Department, and we oftentimes see situations similar to what you just witnessed. We want to make sure that drivers and pedestrians are safe when they get into a crosswalk. We're going to give you a few tips to make sure that both are safe, and I have my pals, Trimmer and Shadow, and we're going to go over those tips right now. You guys ready? Let's do it.
In order to keep everyone safe, we need to be both alert drivers and pedestrians. Pedestrians, be sure to give your full attention while crossing the street, keeping watch of your young children, and always use the crosswalk as it is the safest place for you to be noticed by drivers. Drivers, follow all traffic regulations like following the speed limit and stopping at the limit line so pedestrians can safely cross. Remember to always limit your distractions. This includes your phones and loud music. Lastly, it's important to make eye contact as a driver and pedestrian so you both are aware of each other. Right of way when crossing is always established by whomever enters the roadway first. Let's do our part to make everyone safe.
It's our responsibility to make sure everyone around us is safe. Take the time to look out for one another to make City of Rancho Cucamonga the safest possible place we can.
And that wraps up the June episode of Healthy RC Living. If you tuned in late, don't worry. You can catch Healthy RC Living all month long, airing daily, 3 times a day at 8 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, and 7 in the evening, right here on Channel 3, except Wednesdays. Or check out our new blog, healthyrcliving.com. I'm your host, Heather Dawson. We'll see you next time.
Someday, when I'm awfully low, when the world is cold, I will feel a glow just thinking of you in the way you look tonight.
The Lewis Family
Family Playhouse greatly acknowledges the following supporters. Without their support, many programs and services would not be possible. For tickets and show information, contact the box office at 909-477-2752. Visit us online at lewisfamilyplayhouse.com or download the Lewis Family Playhouse app. See you at the theater.